Two Bird on a Wire by Freecraft on Loose on AO3. Read by Lily6645. This fic includes My Hero Academia levels of violence. That is your warning. Chapter 15. Field Trip to a Trap. Summary. Shota reluctantly let his students go on the field trip. Fuck HPSC and the school board. But they try to be prepared. Shota and Oboro will join the class. Shota hates HPSC and the school board. That isn't a secret, but he didn't think he could hate them more than he already did. He once again proved wrong because he hated them with every fiber of his existence and then some. How can they let a first year go on a field trip that has an 80% chance of being a trap? Well, they did add more teachers to the trip, and they have an open communication line. So if anything does happen, backup will come immediately. And how dare they give All Might a mission right a few hours before they go on the field trip. They may try to get All Might out of the field trip, just a heads up. Shota hates when Izuku is right. The thing is, Izuku is rarely wrong, almost never. Shota can count it with a single hand. The fact that Izuku and Keigo have successfully bogged HPSC and they won't find a thing when they search for it only makes it more solid. But sure, there are still 3 of them. They will be just fine. Being prepared as much as they can doesn't mean being ready when the actual disaster strikes. Izuku had learned that a long time ago, from the first time they joined Eraserhead on a ride. Eraserhead had said they had prepared, yet one thing went wrong and everything tumbled down. The heroes were lucky Izuku and Keigo came just in time to save them. This time, though, Izuku didn't know they would have such luck. 13. Protect the kids. Cloud, let's go. Right on your tail. Shota jumped down the stairs. It's Shota, not Aizawa-sensei or Eraserhead, because if something happens to him now, they will lose more than a teacher or a partner. They will lose a father. Uncle Oboro followed him close, but they ended up on the different section of the plaza. Izuku barely reacted as the warp villain manifested in front of them. He has enough time to hold Kachan and Kirishima back from attacking the villains, giving 13 an opening for an attack. However, that doesn't stop the villain from teleporting half of the class to God knows where. The villain is scattering them. That is the answer, because Izuku is now in the collapse zone with Kirishima and Sero. Also, about 20 villains with them. Great. Izuku takes a deep breath and enters his vigilante persona. Kirishima! Sero, we're going up! Izuku warned them as he picked Kirishima and started to fly to the most sturdy building, launching one of his feathers to help Sero as his tape gives up on the dusty pillar. The 3 of them finally in somewhat safe place, Izuku looks over them and sees they are more or less fine. Are you 2 okay? Yeah, bro. Just surprised, that's all. Kirishima answered him and Sero nodded. Izuku nodded back. That's understandable. The first time always the scariest. You two are doing great, Izuku said, placing a hand on their shoulders. Now, this is what we'll do. This isn't the first time Keigo watched Shota throw himself into the danger just so the others can be safe, but that doesn't mean it becomes less scary. Keigo not even reacted when Kachan and Kirishima about to jump the villain who had manifested in front of them. Fortunately, Izuku managed to stop them before they can get themselves killed. Unfortunately, 13's attack doesn't stop the villain to teleport them away. And Keigo now is in the fire zone with Shoji and Tokage. This is actually perfect. But before Keigo can pretend to be an eldritch being, they have 20 villains to take down. Careful, try not to put out all the fire. Why? Tokage asked. I need it, Keigo answered her as he kicked down one of the villains into the dreamland. Shoji, without any question, joined Keigo to fend off the villains. Just take them all out and he will be ready. Shota knew he was outnumbered and outmatched. His specialty is an ambush and also hit and run. Shota can hold himself in all-out battle, but not for too long. He can feel his movements beginning to slow. The duration of his quirk use also shorter each time. Shota really needs to come out with a better goggles sooner rather than later. Shota knows that backup are on the way, but they need at least 20 minutes, so they just need to hold up for that long. However, the situation isn't as good as Shota pretended it to be. As Shota tried to elbow the leader of the villains, his elbow began to disintegrate. Shota not dare make any sound despite the pain. Shota is exhausted. His quirk is at its limit. And now Shota truly fighting quirkless against quirked people. No, Shota, focus. Shota mentally slapped himself as he bounced back to fighting, ignoring the aching muscles and his burning lungs.
You really are amazing, Eraserhead. But we are here for All Might.
The disintegration villain started.
Maybe if I kill you and some kids, he will show up.
The villains whisper contemplatively.
No moo!
And suddenly, Shota was face to face with a monster. There is nothing but that word that can describe it. It isn't supposed to exist. No, everything about this thing screams wrong. It raises its hand, preparing to smash Shota into nothing. But before it could, a big chunk of concrete flying over Shota's head and smashes its head into pieces. Its body collapsed, and the blood it spills is not blood at all. It was some sort of black goo. I suggest you stay away from things that are mine. Shota turned around as he hears two familiar voices. And there they are, Izuku and Keigo. Izuku is currently moving the collapse zone from its designated place to the main plaza, his long hair being suspended just like how Shota's would when he activates his quirk. While Keigo supporting a massive fire tornado, the only reason it burned nothing and no one is because Keigo is in perfect control. Keigo made a lazy gesture with his hand and suddenly Main Plaza was erupted in flame, separating the low-level thugs with the two big shots. Shota can do nothing but stare. He is practically dead on his feet. Not even a single muscle obey his command anymore. All of them have had enough abuse for the day. Keigo and Izuku fly closer towards Shota. Fire move out of their way as they slowly descend. Once they get clear look on Shota, the rage in their eyes was something Shota never seen before. How dare you touch my hero? If Shota not so exhausted right now, he might have blushed. Now, you choose to die? Or I'll kill you! Shota didn't ever get hurt in front of the twins ever again.
Kirigiri, get me out of here!
The disintegrating villains scream. However, Kirigiri, who Shota assumed is the warp villain, just make a gagging noise. Then the metal around his neck breaks and fell to the ground. The smoke-like thing around him now disappeared, and he fell to the ground. And the next second, the leader follows. Before his body hit the ground, however, he was swallowed by slime-like thing and disappeared. That is the end of Chapter 15 of Two Bird on a Wire by Freecraft on Loose. If you like this, please go support the original author. Link in the description below. Hope you have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye, kittens!